All right, guys, we're over here in Kaneohe on the windward side of Oahu. We're going to check out this fixer-upper tear-down house. You may have seen a post in your travels on social media where somebody says, this is what $800,000 gets you in Hawaii, and it's this tear-down house, and you don't even know if it's true or not because it seems totally crazy, but it is a reality here in Hawaii. So come on and let's check this house. And this is actually our listing here. And we're going to be closing this week coming up at $800,000 for this property. Now, it's probably hard to believe, but we're going to go into some details a little later here about why you can actually fetch a price like that, even with a property that is in this terrible of shape. So come on in. Let's check it out. So you can see already, just, house is completely termite eaten, wood rot, barely pieced together. I mean, the house is in shambles. Somebody might try and rebuild something like this. I think most people would probably tear it down. But again, when we're dealing with Hawaii, it's the land that is so valuable when it comes to real estate in Hawaii, and especially in Oahu, and especially on the windward side of Oahu. And we're selling it just like this, right? Here it is, take it like this. All the stuff in it will become the new owner's problem or treasure, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, there's literally a section here in the floor where if you were to, I think, step here, you would literally fall through the floor. So this is the kind of shape this property is in. But I thought it would be cool either way to kind of come in, check it out and see. But the reality is that the new buyer, they're absolutely stoked and they can't wait to get the keys, because we were able to find our sellers a buyer who is going to turn this into their dream home and forever home, because it is a great location. And I'm going to show you how we went about listing this home to bring in this type of buyer, which is maximizing the sales price for my seller, and that they are very happy about. So some key features about this particular property. Number one, we are at the end of a dead-end street, which is a plus because you're not going to have any traffic coming past your house. So definitely desirable as far as that goes. And then another thing with this property is the lot is a little over 13,000 square feet. I know on the mainland that might not be big, but here in Hawaii, this is a pretty considerable sized lot. Right? And the other thing is they got that big retaining wall up there where the next neighborhood over starts. So it's almost as if there really is nobody behind you, right? And then you got a lot of fruit trees here on the property, and a lot of the square footage cuts back behind the home here. So there's a lot of things that you can do with this property. One of the benefits was they did have this carport rebuilt about 6 or 7 years back. So that's at least in good standing condition. But yeah, as we kind of look through the property here, there are, so the yard cuts all the way back there and kind of goes up the hill. So again, sizable property, a private property with the way it's back here at the end of the street and the way there's that retaining wall there. So these are the type of things that people look in when they're looking for a home. They like the privacy, they like the extra square footage, right? So the thing was, how are we going to showcase this, right? When listing a home, one of the things we want to do, we want to establish who is going to be our target market, right? Who's going to buy a property like this, right? So there's only two types of buyers that pretty much are going to buy something like this. The majority is going to be your investors, all right? So you have to understand the mindset of an investor when pricing a property that they are actually going to buy. So on an investor side, The saying is the investor makes their money on the purchase, meaning they get the property for a good deal, right? So what we did is we looked at all the comps in this neighborhood and seeing what the fixed up nice homes are selling for. And they were running from anywhere from about $1.1 to $1.3 million, okay? So now we got to factor in, okay, what is the price they're going to buy this for where they can sell it and still make money? So you figure to knock this down, rebuild it, you're going to spend about $500,000, okay? So the thought was this probably isn't going to sell much over 600, okay? If it's going to be a cash investor buyer type flipper come in, because what they want to see is if they see it for 600, maybe even a little less, they put 500 into it, so they're in it for about $1 million, maybe 1.1, and then they can sell it for 1.3. There's still some meat left on the bones where they can make their money. Otherwise, an investor is not going to be interested if he is going to buy a property like this, because there has to be enough meat left on the bone so they can make their money. That's what they are in for. That's why they're doing it, right? So then the other type of buyer would be somebody who is going to buy this home, fix it up or rebuild it, turn it into their forever home, and live here for years to come, right? Now, with this particular type of buyer, you can get somebody to spend more money on the property, because let's say they're going to buy it for $800,000, put 500 into it. Now they own the property, and the money that has been put into it is at market value, right? So they're not looking to sell it and make a bunch of money on the back end, but they of course don't also want to be over invested. To put all this money in the property is not worth what it is. So discussing all this with the seller are the strategies we came up with the list price, and is why we were actually able to get this property into contract. Now here's the fun part, right? This is a property that was listed by a different brokerage, okay? It was on the market, I think, for like 80 days or something, right? And it fell off the market. I had reached out to the seller and got an opportunity to get in front of them, showed them what we could provide, and they weren't happy with the offers that were coming in, right? Because they were getting like 500s, maybe something for 600, a bunch of lowball offers with those cash investor type people that I was talking about. So I told her, look, if we're gonna sell this for any more, and she understood it after I explained the way the investor thinks. So that made sense to her, but she really wanted to try and get more than $600,000 out of this property. So what we did was showcase it properly, because in today's market, you are not just selling the home, right? We're selling the neighborhood, the location, the proximity to desirable areas like shopping, the beach, and stuff like that. And the beauty is, with today's technology, we're able to showcase all of that within the listing by using things like drone footage, video walkthroughs, to showcase all these separate different points. So the first listing, before I picked this listing up, they had one photo. Guy came, boom, snapshot of the house, that was it. The only person who sees something like that online is gonna be and be interested is gonna be your type cash investors, right? So you'll see here that we came, professional photography, took a whole bunch of photos, right? Even photos of the inside, because people want to get a general idea what it looks like. But the photos that really sold this and brought us the buyer in was our drone footage when we were showing the location, the neighborhood, the lot size, the proximity to desirable points around the neighborhood. And next thing you know, after getting about 6, 7, or maybe even close to 10 offers we got, right? And a lot of them were those cash investors. We found the buyer who is going to live in this, who's going to fix it up and live in this property, and is okay paying a little bit more, because by the time they're done, they're going to be at market value with cash out of pocket, and they're going to sit on it for the long haul and watch this appreciation continue to grow here in Hawaii like it always does. So yes, guys, homes do sell as high as $800,000 or even over $1 million that are complete tear-down properties here in Hawaii, right? And that's because, again, the land is so valuable. Hawaii, I'd like to say, is probably some of the most stable real estate in the country, and yet in the world. And the reason for that is, well, obviously we're on an island, right? So there's a scarcity of land. It's not like we're out in Arizona and we could just keep building out and out and out and have all these homes and tons of land available, right? So the land's extremely valuable, number one. Number two, Hawaii is one big melting pot. There's people from all over the world who live here, who come here to buy property here. So even when we see recessions within the US economy like 2008 during the subprime crisis, when the real estate market just crashed and we saw some areas dropping 40, 50, 60% on the mainland, the biggest dip that we saw in Hawaii was about 12%. And areas like Kaneohe, Kailua over here on the windward side didn't see any drops at all, right? And I think another important element when it comes to Hawaii to mention is the abundance of the military presence here, right? So the military, they get their basic allowance for housing, and it's the highest in the country of where they get it here, plus an additional cost of living allowance. This enables the military personnel to buy homes when they come here. It also helps drive up the rent rates. So real estate is just super, super stable here when it comes to Hawaii. And this is why we don't see those huge dips. And it also makes me question people when they say, I'm gonna wait for the prices to drop. I don't know where they're going with that, right? So good luck to you guys if you're waiting for those prices to drop, because all we see here is continued appreciation in Hawaii. Homes like this selling for $800,000, in some neighborhoods well over $1 million, because the value is in the land, and the appreciation on property here in Hawaii is amongst the highest in the country. And we are just on that steady kind of climb up. Yeah, there's been a couple little bumps here and there, but nothing what you might see on the mainland. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching the video. I hope you found some of this useful. If you're looking to sell a home, we would love to talk to you. Please hit the subscribe button below. Check the little bell so you don't miss out on all the videos we're doing all over the island of Oahu about real estate here. Hope to talk to you soon.